Every business leader I've ever interviewed or talked with, every physician, investor, every entrepreneur has told me that the number one key to success is relationships.
Welcome to the Physicians and Properties Podcast, the show where we teach you how investing in real estate can give you the freedom to practice medicine and live life how you want.
Doctor!
Now, here's your host, Dr. Alex Schloe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Physicians and Properties Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alex Schloe, and today's episode is something special. It's been something that's really been put on my heart. It's something I've been thinking a lot about lately, and even more so as we head into Thanksgiving, which is tomorrow. Today's episode is not going to be about real estate or entrepreneurship or financial freedom. Today's episode is about something that is infinitely more important. We're going to talk about relationships, community, connection. These are the things that make a life truly rich. But first, I want to begin with a story I recently heard listening to a John Mark Comer sermon. There was a man who was at one time the richest man in the world. He was as famous in his era as Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, or Warren Buffett are today. His name was John Paul Getty. Getty made billions, that's right, with a B, billions in the oil industry. He was relentless, gritty, brilliant, and if we're being honest, he probably left a few dead bodies in his wake. But he was a man that was obsessed with winning, obsessed with wealth, obsessed with building an empire. But the more successful he became, the more isolated he became as well. His personal life was a disaster. There have been entire movies that have been made about Getty's dysfunctional family. There's even a story about how his grandson was kidnapped and Getty refused to pay the ransom. His fifth wife, yes, fifth wife, wrote a memoir called Alone Together. So that title alone tells you everything. Getty's estate in Los Angeles was actually modeled after an ancient Roman villa that was uncovered in Pompeii. This is serious. A literal palace recreated from a civilization whose ruins are famous for luxury and collapse. Unfortunately, Getty died before that home was even finished. And there's an image of Getty in his palace in England, and he's sitting at the head of this table. This table could easily fit 50 people. There's golden candlesticks, opulence everywhere. He's in a palace. And Getty, the richest man in the world at that time, is sitting completely alone. There's a scowl cemented on his face. He's got a slack jaw. His eyes are hollow. They look joyless. He looks dead. And you can pull up the picture and see this. All that success, all that money, all that power, and this is what it looked like. It looked like a palace without people. Palace without people is just a tomb with marble countertops. And the truth is, we have a loneliness epidemic right now in America. Think about it. The average person today actually has more material wealth than kings and queens did centuries ago. And yet, many of us are lonelier than ever. We've become increasingly individualized and maybe more culturally conditioned to prioritize the good of the individual over the good of the community. To put that into perspective, think about your own life. Think about how good you feel when you are willing to contribute to others, when you serve your patients and serve them well. Physicians are probably a little bit more outliers in that regard because we are conditioned more to take care of others and put our needs second. But as a whole in America right now, we are prioritizing the good of ourselves and not the good of the community and not the good of others. We want to curate our lives instead of contributing to someone else's. And the natural byproduct of that, as a lot of us know, is loneliness. So let me ask you something, and I promise this is going to become a happier podcast, but these are some things that I'm thinking about right now. So let me ask you, Do you ever eat dinner alone most nights? Do you crave being known? I mean, truly known, but you fear being judged or being hurt? Do you avoid forming deep relationships with people because that vulnerability feels risky? If so, you are not alone. 54% of Americans say that no one knows them well. Over half of the country says that no one knows them well. 36% of Americans feel lonely frequently or almost all the time. And among young adults, that number jumps to 61%. The former U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, has called loneliness the number one health threat in America. And he equates that to the impact of smoking 15 cigarettes per day. 15 cigarettes a day. That's the cost of isolation. So why does this matter? Why am I talking about this? Why bring up wealth, loneliness, and relationships on a real estate and entrepreneurship podcast? Well, it's Thanksgiving week. This is a time where we all gather around tables, when we remember that gratitude isn't a feeling, it is an act. And when we're reminded that the richest moments in life aren't actually found in bank accounts, but in community and in relationship, that changes everything. Every business leader I've ever interviewed or talked with, every physician, investor, every entrepreneur has told me that the number one key to success is relationships. It's not specific deals. It's not net worths. It's not equity multiples. It's relationships. It is impossible to be truly happy in isolation. And we're designed for community, for connection, for a shared life. So this Thanksgiving, as you sit around the table eating turkey, piling on the stuffing, hopefully grabbing a slice of cherry pie with some vanilla ice cream, that's my favorite. I want you to notice something. I want you to notice how good it just feels to be together, to talk, to laugh, to play games, to watch football, to just simply be present and belong. If every day had a little bit of Thanksgiving in it, if we opened our homes, opened our tables, invited people in, broke bread, shared meals together, our entire lives would change. Our medical practices would improve, our mental health would improve, our businesses would grow, our joy would expand. In 2025, the Schloe family, we worked on doing this more. We worked on opening up our home more, on hosting more gatherings, getting together for picnics in the park with the families that we're closest to, sharing life together. We weren't perfect, but we definitely took a step in the right direction, and we found that our lives dramatically improved. Our relationships improved. Our relationship as a husband and a wife improved. We felt a stronger tie to the community. We were able to do more good. And frankly, our businesses improved as well. In 2026, I want to take this even further. I want there always to be a seat at my table. I want my home to be a place where people truly feel welcome. I want my kids to grow up surrounded by community and not isolation. And I want relationships to be my greatest wealth, because family and friendships are the greatest form of capital that we will ever have. So today, I just want to say, I'm thankful for you. I am so thankful that you shared your time, your most precious asset, with me to listen to this podcast episode. I'm thankful to everyone here who has spent a significant amount of time this year listening to me share my life with you, share my experiences with you, and interview and learn from so many amazing physicians and entrepreneurs in the space, most of which want more than just income. I'm thankful for the people here who want a life that matters. And if you need community, if you want connection, if you want to be a part of something larger than yourself, my table is open and you are welcome here. So I want you to have a fantastic Thanksgiving. Slow down, savor the food, savor the people, savor the gift of being together, savor the crazy uncle who's going to talk about politics. And remember that a rich life is built at the table, not the bank. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much. Hey, real quick, if you're still listening to this, I'm assuming you got value from it. So I need your help specifically. My 2-year vision with this podcast is to help 100,000 physicians learn how investing in real estate can give you the freedom to practice medicine and live life how you want. There are two main ways that a podcast grows. One is through ratings and reviews, and the other is word of mouth. If you can please leave me a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, as well as send this to 1 to 2 friends that you think would get value from it, we can reach the physicians that we want to reach. Thanks in advance, and talk to you on the next episode. Please note that the information shared on this podcast is for informational purposes only. It should not be considered financial or medical advice. The views expressed on this podcast are those of the host and the guest and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Department of Defense or the United States Air Force.